Part 264. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2631. Master, then I will go too. Lu Jiyi lowered her head, with a cowardly look on her face, and then she was about to turn around and leave. When he walked, his legs seemed a little uncoordinated. Etc. What's wrong with your leg? Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, narrowed her eyes, which suddenly flashed with a different kind of brilliance. After all, she still has this vision. After taking a quick glance this time, she instantly discovered the clues. There is a problem here. And it's not a small problem. Big problem. If you are not careful, you may be hooked into it. My leg. No. It's nothing, maybe it's because I've been sitting upright for too long, so I'm a little numb. Master, I'm fine. Lu Jiyi lowered her head and followed cautiously. How? Have you learned to lie in front of me? The leg is numb, will it look like this? Both legs tremble. And there is such a crack between the legs. Humph. Master is also a woman. This is clearly the appearance after tasting the forbidden fruit for the first time. And you are more serious. This bastard has tossed you into such a state. You still protect him. Did he threaten you? Tell me. As a teacher, I will decide for you. Can being a teacher still make you suffer? I am your master. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, has an attitude of breaking the casserole and asking the end. While talking, he gradually found out some key points. At first, everyone didn't pay attention to this point, but after he finished speaking, the eyes on everyone's faces changed. It seems to be like this. There is indeed something wrong with Lu Jiyi's walking posture. Anyone with a little experience can see that there is a problem here. Now it seems impossible to just use two sentences to prevaricate the past. You are just fooling around inside. Scumbag. Gritting her teeth, Xiao Liyulai walked over with a long sword in her hand, and subconsciously glanced at the upper part of Fang Fan's leg. Fang Fan froze for a moment, and then felt a chill in his body for no reason. What does this mean? Why are you aiming at that position and holding a long sword? Is it possible that you still want to ruin my lifelong happiness? Little Liyulai, what are you doing? Hey, give me the sword. Fang Fan exhaled, and then said cautiously from the side. Can this be done carelessly? It may be a cool ending at every turn. This psychological pressure is really too great. Snort. Not for you. You big bastard. Bastard. Xiao Liyulai immediately played a temper tantrum, and was reluctant to use the sword to attack Fang Fan, so she clenched her small powder fist and beat Fang Fan's chest. This seems to have a kind of coquettish meaning. Xiao Liyulai, do you believe me? Fang Fan looked at Xiao Liyulai's beautiful eyes sincerely and said. Xiao Liyulai nodded subconsciously. I was there just now to help Lu Jiyi treat her illness. The main purpose is to make her normal. After all, we are classmates, aren't we? So, the understanding little Liyulai should also be able to understand my good intentions, right? Fang Fan nodded and said while talking. Xiao Liyulai blinked, and Fang Fan's words made sense. Immediately, the little head bobbed up and down like a chicken pecking rice. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2632. I knew you were not that kind of person. Xiao Liyulai poked her head towards Fang Fan's arms, with a coquettish expression on her face. Is this, okay? What kind of fairy couple is this? Can this be fooled? I'm cracked. I want to watch a play. I'm not here to eat dog food. I've had enough dog food. I don't want to eat any more. Bai Piao took a deep breath, and while talking, the black lines on his forehead were revealed, and the gnashing of teeth was very real at this moment. The thoughts gathered here, and the mentality of the whole person collapsed. What the hell are they? Can you stop for a little bit? He's under a lot of pressure, okay. Now this brain is buzzing. From Bai Piao's point of view, it's more about jealousy. Hey, brother Bai Piao, I think you should stop doing such useless work next time. Brother Fang Fan, these tricks are simply not applicable. You only use ordinary people in those tricks, but brother Fang Fan never takes an ordinary path. Give up. Don't toss until you end up covered in bruises. Gui Sha sighed silently. While talking, he patted Bai Piao's shoulder, just wanting to make Bai Piao think about it a little bit, and stop messing with things that are not there. In the end, it didn't hurt others, but it made myself bruised and bruised. Seriously, is this necessary? In the end, it will only make me feel the wireless malice of this world. If so, why bother? What can't you think about? Do you have to toss about these? Let yourself be in extreme pain in the end, and feel comfortable in your heart? Gui Sha thought in his heart, and then followed up with a comprehensive complaint. Snort. The emperor pays off those who have a heart. One day, I will find a chance. No. I have a chance now. This Lu Jiyi's problem can't be covered up now. As long as this Lu Jiyi insists that Fang Fan is responsible for her physical condition, this guy's shameless face will be fully exposed. At that time, I will see how he can fool me. While talking, Bai Piao blinked, the excitement on his face was beyond words. All kinds of ideas gathered here, and I felt more and more excited. At this moment, everyone's eyes are focused on Lu Jiyi, and now her words are the most convincing. Feeling the sharp rays of light around her, Lu Jiyi's complexion instantly turned crimson. I thought all these things were over, but I didn't expect it to be exposed because of my walking posture. But no matter what, I can't embarrass the master. Lu Jiyi's heart fluttered, and she couldn't help but think of the graceful touch before. Although it was a bit overwhelming in the end, but it was also rampant in a sense of grace. This feeling is very real in a way. Thinking of this in my heart, the light in my eyes can't help but become more. Needless to say anything else, this attitude will be shown anyway. It's all my fault. I drugged squad leader Fang Fan. His charm makes me unable to extricate myself. So I couldn't hold back. I did it all. When he wakes up, everything will be over. Squad leader Fang Fan, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have prescribed drugs to you without your consent. As soon as Lu Jiyi said a word, there was a sensation in the audience. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2633. How crazy is this? Listen. Listen up. This is really against the sky. He even confessed about the drug use. What the hell is going on with this? Why can't I understand more and more? The face of Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, instantly became extremely ugly. Ask for a hammer. Before, she wanted to discredit Fang Fan, but now the clown is herself. Call. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, let out a foul breath secretly, thinking to herself, the corners of her mouth twitched unnaturally. Thinking this way in my heart at the moment, the posture of gnashing my teeth is vividly displayed. Needless to say anything else, this gesture is very real. After hearing this gossip, hundreds of students from the first-year seed class in the number 5 training room immediately exploded. Everyone has the heart of gossip. There is no way to prevent this. It's so amazing, I'll admit, I seem to be able to imagine that picture. Is the squad leader Fang Fan's charm a little too strong? This, actually made, Lu Jiyi not hesitate to take risks. Boys are outside, they just need to protect themselves well, don't follow suit. I don't need to say much about the rest, anyway, this attitude is very real. It's so awesome, hang and beat everyone who refuses to accept. Hey, it seems that I have to wear an extra protective suit in the future. I don't know when I will lose my body. Brother, can we be a little self-aware? Just you, panic. Why can't I get such a good fortune? Hey. If you want to be reversed, there are conditions. If the conditions are not met, don't think about these things. There was a lot of noise, and the excitement on everyone's faces was beyond words. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this gesture is very real. Probably this is the most real feeling. At this moment, because of Lu Jiyi's words, Fang Fan instantly became the focus of the audience. At this moment, all eyes are gathered, and it feels that it is basically in place. Bai Piao subconsciously picked out his ears, and now his face was complicated. He wondered if there was something wrong with his ears, so he misheard. In the end, I found out that these are actually true. This. Why? How did the clown become himself again? Boy Fang Fan actually became a victim. This. This is a big lie. Brother Bai Piao, are you okay? How about I help you over there to rest? Don't shake your lips. Anyway, let's just calm down, shall we? Your situation worries me a lot. Why? It's good to be a little more safe. While speaking, Gisha opened his mouth, and while speaking, the black lines on his forehead were revealed. No expectations, no disappointments. Why do you have to get involved in this matter? Isn't this making yourself guilty? Can't hold on. I can't stand it anymore. How can this be stable? Call. You son of a bitch. Is Fang Fan really the old lover of Lady Luck? Otherwise, why is Luck always so good? Any situation can be turned into safety. I've never seen him suffer. Bai Piao raised his head to look at the ceiling, while talking, then followed up with all-round complaints. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2634. I don't need to say much about the others, anyway, my heart is full of envy, jealousy, and hatred. Brother Bai Piao, you really don't hit the south wall and don't look back. I've seen it through a long time ago, so I tell you not to fight against Brother Fang Fan. Why do you say you are doing this? The appearance of bruising myself all over again and again. Why? It's really not necessary. Gui Sha patted Bai Piao's shoulder, talking, and then complained. Now things are basically clear. Fang Fan subconsciously glanced at Lu Jiyi, who was not far away, but he did not expect that this person would be able to say so resolutely. Although Lu Jiyi was the first to do things at that time, if Fang Fan ignored her, the fighting for dozens of hours would not have happened. Now that Lu Jiyi has taken all the responsibilities onto her, Fang Fan is somewhat moved in his heart. Husband, I blamed you. I shouldn't have treated you that way just now. You were drugged, how are you doing now? Is there anything uncomfortable? If something feels uncomfortable, can I rub it for you? Husband. Xiao Liyulai's soft voice came from the side, and while talking, Xiao Liyulai blinked subconsciously, and the look of expectation on her face was very real. This time the thoughts gathered, and the corresponding expressions were revealed. Fang Fan shrugged, then smiled indifferently. In this matter, he was completely picked out. It's just that Lu Jiyi seems to be having a hard time. Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, was so angry that she was trembling all over at the moment. Asshole! Asshole! You bastard! I don't have your apprentice! Snapped. Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, slapped Lu Jiyi with a big mouth, making her already wobbly god tremble unnaturally. Then fell directly to the side. At this time, Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, was obviously not willing to let it go, and then her eyes widened, as if she wanted to continue to rush over and beat her up. Needless to say anything else, this vicious gesture is very clear. In fact, in the final analysis, this matter was done by herself from the beginning to the end. If she hadn't harbored a vicious heart for Fang Fan in the beginning, she wouldn't have caught fire in the end. Now I feel that I can't get over my face, so I thought about using this kind of violence to vent my emotions. That's it. The conduct is also too bad. Fang Fan walked forward indifferently, and then confronted Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy. What are you doing? Step aside. Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, gave a cold snort, with an unhappy expression on her face. As the head teacher of the first-year seed class, it's not appropriate to punish the students of the first-year seed class like this. As the monitor of the first-grade seed class, I have the right to protest. Fang Fan shrugged and said directly. Don't need to say much about the others, anyway, this gesture is vividly displayed this time. All aspects of things are very pure. This feeling has to be in place somehow. Protest. Just you. I taught my disciples a lesson, when is it your turn to intervene? This is a matter between our master and apprentice. Even if I kill her, no one can do anything to me. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2635. It's so vicious. If you can say this, you know it's not a good thing. Immediately, Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, became more and more excited. She felt that she had a strong sense of shame, and now she wanted to get rid of this shame to the fullest. Others don't need to say much for the time being, it's probably just such an attitude. Is it? Then if Lu Jiyi isn't your apprentice anymore, won't you be able to control her? Fang Fan shrugged and smiled calmly. When Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, heard this, her complexion darkened immediately. What do you mean by saying this? She doesn't quite understand here. What do you want to do? Could it be possible that you can still let her deceive her master and destroy her ancestors? If she doesn't become my disciple, who would dare to accept her in Guangming Academy? Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, gritted her teeth, and then said with a rebellious face. Between the words, the eyes flashed with a different kind of brilliance. The gathering of thoughts here is probably the most realistic attitude. He. Aren't you taking yourself too seriously? Master, how about finding a female apprentice for you? Are you willing to accept it? Fang Fan looked at Grand Uncle Ji, then shrugged and said. What is Master used for? That is the time to come to make up for the rescue. You can fix it however you like. I'm just a tool man. I support whatever you do. Uncle Ji immediately followed the one who blew his beard and stared at him. While talking, he immediately complained all over the place. The gesture of rolling the eyeballs is too real. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this gesture is very real. To some extent, it is probably such an attitude. Look, my master is willing to accept Lu Jiyi as his apprentice. Lu Jiyi, would you like to change the court? Such a master, don't mind. Fang Fan waved his hand, and then asked. The gestures in all aspects are extremely casual. Since you want to be free, then be free to the end. Lu Jiyi pursed her lips, with a look of hesitation on her face. She never thought that things would turn out like this. She also knows that even if she is willing to continue to be the disciple of Fujing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, there may be a gap between the master and the apprentice. It will be embarrassing to face each other all day in the future. Rather than that, it's better to take this opportunity to settle the relationship quickly. But from Lu Jiyi's point of view, it's not easy to give up this master-student friendship. But on the other side is the master she has been thinking about. Master, Fang Fan, do you want me to change the court? After hesitating, Lu Jiyi almost blurted out and called the master directly. Fortunately, it stopped at the end. Immediately, a pair of beautiful eyes stared at Fang Fan, with a questioning expression on his face. From Lu Jiyi's point of view, Fang Fan's attitude at the moment can fully represent her. Fang Fan's eyebrows twitched, and he seemed a little embarrassed to come to ask himself at this time. Fang Fan could clearly feel that something was wrong with the eyes of everyone around him. The Uncle Ji at the side frowned subconsciously. At this moment, the great Uncle Ji thought to himself, my apprentice is good at everything, but this girl's fate can't be cut off. People don't flirt in vain. That's what I said, but there must be a measure. Tai Shiji shook his head, silently sighing. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2636. Uncle G smashed his mouth, thought to himself, but didn't say much. As long as it is what your apprentice needs, it will be in place in minutes. As for the others, do they matter? Just hold on. At this moment, Lu Jiyi has already shown her posture. As for the others, naturally there is not so much need. Lu Jiyi has already said that she is willing to change her family, so the corresponding gesture of Fujing, the vice president of the Priest Academy at this moment, naturally seems very real. Now it's neither advancing nor retreating. After all that big talk was spoken just now. Directly show that who dares to accept Lu Jiyi casually. It was very cool when I said this big talk, but now it is completely embarrassing. Fang Fan's dictatorship can't deal with it. Bastard. Fujing, vice president of the Priest Academy, turned blue with anger. She almost spit out a mouthful of blood at this moment, but finally held back. Hold on. Be sure to hold on. It would be too unfair to be pissed off by this guy. Uncle G. You have to fight against me, don't you? You are challenging my bottom line. Fujing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, had a dark face. There were bursts of crackling sounds coming from her fingers. While talking, her eyes flickered with a different kind of brilliance. This time the thoughts gathered here, as if they wanted to wipe everything in front of them invisible. Don't need to say much about the rest, this time it's probably such a gesture. Very realistic. Also very pure. What's wrong with you? Haven't we always been right? Tai Shuji shrugged, and then said very sincerely. The expression on the face of Fujing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, gradually became a little confused. It looks like this is really the case. Snort. Don't regret it. Today's event, I wrote it down. Good, very good, excellent. All very good. Fujing, vice president of the Priest Academy, was so angry that she almost yelled. At this moment, while talking, he swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and his facial expression was very real. I didn't expect that the disciple I had accepted would strike me back at a critical moment, sweeping away my face. Thinking of this, the ferocious look on the face of Fujing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, could not help flashing. Anyway, the feeling in my heart is not right. Very upset. There is also a hint of hot madness. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, glanced around, and then saw Zuoki Otaksu, who was cowering at the side. Zuoki Otaksu and Lu Jiyi were originally her two favorite disciples selected among the freshmen. Now that Lu Jiyi has changed her family, only Zuoki Otaksu is left. Taksu, come here. After becoming a teacher, I will definitely devote all my energy to you. Your future cultivation speed will definitely increase dramatically. I just want to let some people take a good look at what it will be like after leaving me. Humph. Don't cry and want to return to my command. At that time, it will be useless even if you knock your head to bleed. I, Fu Jing, never take in traitors. Tread the snow. As a teacher, I guarantee that you will be promoted to the 5-star sanctuary within 100 years. As a teacher, I will supervise your cultivation from today onwards. I have high hopes for you as a teacher. While talking, Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, pulled Zuoki Otaksu over. While talking, the ferocious expression on his face grew more and more. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2637. Zuoki Otaksu opened his lips, and shrank his neck casually and subconsciously. At this moment, he hesitated to speak. I wanted to say something, but suddenly stopped at this moment. All words seemed to have become cold. The feeling in my heart gradually followed in place. Master, Master. Zuoki Otaksu, the godson of the first-class Light Alliance Temple, took a deep breath, and then gradually opened his mouth tremblingly. What's wrong? Just say what you want. I know that you want to thank me and thank me. I know that you are a good boy who knows how to repay you. You don't know how much better than some people. These masters know it all. You child, why are you still so shy? In front of master, don't you just say what you want? What's the relationship between us? Not to mention that I have been guided by your father Zuoki Oshenj. As far as our master-student relationship is concerned, the master will listen to everything you say. Just say what you want to say. Don't be timid, men. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, smiled heartily, then patted Zuoki Otaksu on the shoulder and said. Needless to say anything else, the casual and calm expression on his face is very real. This is probably the attitude shown. From the perspective of Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, I thought that Zuoki Otaksu wanted to express the gratitude in his heart. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this time the thoughts are gathered here, basically it is completely in place. By the way, he used these words to sneer at Lu Jiyi. At this moment, Zuoki Otaksu's face is full of fear. Then he took a deep breath and gritted his teeth, as if he had made some significant decision in his heart at this moment. I. Cough, then what? Master, you are usually very busy, right? Before, if you taught me and Lu Jiyi before, the time is not too much waste. Now I'm the only one teaching me, it's really a waste of your time. I can't bear it. Your time is so precious, how can you waste it on me? I feel really sorry for this. While Zuoki Otaksu was talking, the expression on his face gradually became in place. The smile on Fu Jing's face, the vice president of the Priest Academy, gradually disappeared, and was replaced by silence. What do you mean by that? Why didn't I understand? I spend my time cultivating you, which shows that I value you. This has nothing to do with anything else at all. How can you think like this in your heart? You don't have to. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, waved her hand and said casually. Master, what I mean is, in order to reduce your burden, or else I will change my family, and I will also be released from your command. This can also protect your precious time from being wasted to the greatest extent. Master, look at what I said, is it right? Master, do you think that means that? Master, in order not to drag you down, I will not be your disciple. Master, this disciple loves you. Master, don't think too much. I definitely didn't choose not to be your disciple because I thought you were too scary. It was purely out of consideration for your body. Master, in fact, you are not scary at all, nor vicious at all, nor ferocious at all. Master, I have said so much just to let you not misunderstand. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2638. Zuoki Otaxu's words were straight to the point. It's getting darker and darker. The sound of slapping in the face is endless. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, was standing in place at the moment, her body trembling violently. Is the rhythm of this face slapping so strong? Can't you hold on a little bit? Is it comfortable to slap your face so quickly? Among the freshmen, Zuoki Otaxu and Lu Jiyi are the two disciples she likes most. Lu Jiyi has broken away from her master-student relationship now. Originally, she thought about using Zuokio's snow-treading costume to at least maintain her own face, but now it seems that the slap in the face is even more serious. The crackling sound continued, and the whole person was stunned. Needless to say anything else, this feeling is very real. The whole person is in a state of complete bewilderment. Even the sound of breathing seemed so rapid at this moment. People are just stupid. At this moment, the group of students from the first-year seed class around them widened their eyes, and then started whispering. What a big melon! This melon is still sweet. This looks so exciting. I didn't expect to see endless sex today. This Vice President Fu Jing's staff is not good. In the first-year seed class, there are only 2 disciples who want to defect now. I laughed, really laughed. Cough, it's a good thing that I was able to stabilize the wave and didn't choose Vice President Fu Jing as my mentor. Don't brag, you were brushed off by others at that time, and they didn't even like you at all. This Vice President Fu Jing has high eyesight. Tisk tisk tisk, I didn't expect to be backstabbed by my disciple now. Damn it. I feel so awkward standing so far away, it's so embarrassing, so embarrassing. It's embarrassing, I'm convinced, I'm completely convinced. 666. Awesome class. Waves of yelling continued, and the expressions of excitement on everyone's faces were beyond words. Needless to say about other things for the time being, this gesture is particularly vivid. This is probably the attitude at the moment. So real, so beautiful. Good. Very good. Zuokio stepping on the snow. Fu Jing, vice president of the Priest Academy, squirmed her lips, and her breathing gradually became extremely rapid. If she hadn't thought that Zuokio Taxu was the son of the Saint Zuokio, the son of a demigod, she would have twitched her mouth now. This wave of anger is over. Snort. I just thought you were joking with me. Don't mention it again. After Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy finished her yelling, she strode away without stopping at all. Zuokio Taxu stood where he was, and his lips parted subconsciously. He really wanted to say that he wasn't joking. From the perspective of Zuokio stepping on the snow, he actually wanted to do this a long time ago. It's too depressing to be a disciple under Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy. From time to time, you have to face that extremely indifferent face, and from time to time you have to belittle you with words. Who can resist it? And because of Zuokio Taxu's special status, Fu Jing, the vice president of the Priest Academy, took special care of him, and sometimes talked to him in the middle of the night. Zuoki Otaxia shrank his neck, and some cold sweat broke out on his forehead. At this moment, the farce is almost over. Master, Master. Lu Jiyi stepped forward secretly, and then timidly shouted at Taishiji. The corner of Taishiji's mouth twitched. To be honest, he really rarely accepts female apprentices. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 2639. From now on, you will train with Fang Fan. If you don't understand anything, just ask him. Uncle G waved his hand, pushed 4, 5, 6, he couldn't bring all these things to himself, it would be too much of a headache. Now Fang Fan is basically accepting apprentices on behalf of his teachers. It's master. Lu Jiyi nodded quickly, and then looked at Fang Fan who was at the side, with excitement suddenly flashing in her eyes. Fang Fan's eyes subconsciously glanced towards the surroundings, and he always felt that his eyes were piercing. This wave of feelings is very profound. The farce is over, and it's time for serious training. Stop arguing. A mentor will be arranged to take you to train immediately. Taishiji waved his hand, explained briefly, and then left directly. Why do I feel that you are cooperating very well? Your relationship seems to be very good. It doesn't look like a drug relationship at all. Xiao Liyulai curled her lips, then tilted her head and said solemnly. It's already this time, so naturally she can't hide all these things from her eyes. You just saw that. Did you see Fang Fan's shameless face? This bastard. Shameless to the point of bursting. Fairy Liyulai, don't be fooled by his innocent expression. Suddenly, Bai Piao's eyes brightened, and he felt that he had found a breakthrough point. He was talking at the moment, and then roared with excitement. Needless to say anything else, this gesture is very real. While talking, the sound of breathing could not help but become rapid. He just wanted to let Fang Fan be overwhelmed once, just such a small wish. But, how come it hasn't been realized until now? This is too difficult. Bai Piao's thoughts gathered here, and the helpless expression on his face became more and more, thinking to himself, the black lines on his forehead gradually increased. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this time probably has such an attitude. Fang Fan glanced at Bai Piao, this guy has really loosened his skin recently. This wave of waves, the rhythm of doing things still seems so strong, what kind of trouble is this trying to do? What about doing something? Don't forget, I'm the monitor. Fang Fan bared his teeth and grinned, then stepped forward and patted Bai Piao's shoulder, which basically meant that the hint was in place. As for how much this guy can comprehend, it is unknown. Can you still avenge yourself publicly? What I said is the truth. It is absolutely impossible for me, Bai Piao, to be overwhelmed by power. It is absolutely impossible for me, Bai Piao, to bow my head to a dog with authority like you. Bai Piao held her head high, full of arrogance. Under a dog and powerful at every turn. What a good guy. The frequency of doing things is really not low. Fang Fan silently walked 2 steps forward, then glanced at Bai Piao's buttocks. Bai Piao felt Fang Fan's eyes inexplicably feeling tense in his body. Especially the center of the buttocks, a little trembling. You don't still have this hobby, do you? Bai Piao swallowed a mouthful of saliva, streams of cold sweat flowed out from his forehead, while talking, his lips trembled unnaturally. I don't need to say much about the others, but this look is very strange. Fang Fan really didn't realize it at first, but after he did, the black lines on his forehead became more and more. That's it? Is this how things are done now? Are you drifting, or am I unable to hold a knife? Boom. Fang Fan kicked out, hitting Bai Piao's buttocks. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2640. Pat. Bai Piao prostrated himself on the ground, and fell straight into the shit. I wipe. Fang Fan boy, you actually made a surprise attack. As the squad leader, you actually beat the students viciously. You're done. I want to report. I'm going to remove you as the monitor. While Bai Piao was talking, his eyeballs moved accordingly, and the excitement on his face was beyond words. Needless to say anything else, this posture is very real. Probably such a very pure attitude. Fang Fan pouted, not bothering to talk to this guy at all. What are these things? Can't the rhythm of doing things be a little slower? Quiet. Why are you so noisy? At this time, a middle-aged beautiful woman walked in from the doorway, her eyes scanned the surrounding area, and her brows furrowed. Everyone was silent like a cicada, and now their eyes were focused on the past, and the sense of astonishment on their faces involuntarily increased. Needless to say anything else, when I saw this one, I somehow felt that she had a strong sense of majesty. It is probably such an extremely deep feeling. I'm Fang Fan, the leader of the first grade seed class. Who are you? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, looking at the outline of the middle-aged beauty in front of him. He felt strangely familiar. Snort. You are Fang Fan. After hearing Fang Fan's self-introduction, the middle-aged beautiful woman's eyes suddenly lit up, and then she glanced at Fang Fan in surprise. While talking, the eyes of the middle-aged beautiful woman became brighter. Needless to say about the negotiation, this gesture is very real. For it. You know me. Fang Fan shrugged, but it was not surprising. After all, with his current reputation, it is normal for someone to know him. Snort. Do not know. But I heard that you are very attractive. And the luck in the school is also very good. Isn't it a good feeling to hug from left to right? While talking, the beautiful middle-aged woman glanced at Xiao Liyulai and Lu Jiyi, which was already very suggestive. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this sneer has already shown everything. The visitor is not good. The memories in Fang Fan's mind were tumbling. In his memory, he has never had any entanglements with this middle-aged beautiful woman. Fang Fan frowned, and then looked around the middle-aged beautiful woman, hoping to find some clues. What are you looking at? The middle-aged beautiful woman gritted her teeth with a fierce expression on her face. I'm checking who you are. What are you doing in training room No. 5? This is the place where our one-year economic seed class trains. No one else is allowed to enter. Fang Fan waved his hand, and then said indifferently. Oh. Am I also an idler? I am your weapon instructor, my name is Ding Ling. I was invited by Taishiji's mentor to explain to you how to use related weapons. The middle-aged beautiful woman Ding Ling walked straight to the high platform of the training room while talking, and then her pair of beautiful eyes glanced around, especially focusing on Fang Fan for a long time. The malicious expression in his eyes seemed very real. Fang Fan looked depressed. What the hell, is this being targeted? Why? He has never interacted with this teacher Ding Ling.